Hey guys, today we're going to be shooting a video on how to wire your Wilo Maxo up for a modulating condensing boiler. As you can see, I have my Wilo Maxo here, and then I have my little mock Lochinvar head that conveniently has a nice low voltage board on it, as well as power contacts. So first we're going to pop the cover off our little Wilo Maxo, and then I will show you to where to land the wires on both. Then we'll go through the programming. Alright guys, so the first thing we need to do is remove these two little screws off the LCD on the Wilo Maxo so you can see where to land the wires. You kind of pull and pull out, and there's two little tabs that sink into the housing. The tabs are on the screen right there. That being said, I pre-labeled this thing so that you can see where the start and stop command wires go, as well as where the variable speed or analog input goes. If you have a modulating condensing boiler and you're using this as a boiler pump, you're going to want to give the pump a turn on, turn off, or start, stop command. And then, if you're lucky to have some type of analog output on the modulating condensing boiler, we'll tell the pump to speed up and slow down when the boiler ramps up and slows down. That allows for better heat transfer. So your start and stop contacts are going to be 33 and 31. And your variable analog input contacts are going to be 12 and 13. And this one actually allows for two analog inputs if you're doing two different things. So, start and stop command, let's start with that. On this Lochinvar boiler, this one actually has a set of powered contacts that if you were running just a dumb pump, would give you some low amp for it. So let's say it's a fixed speed, whatever, induction motor, you can get some output from this board. In the instance that you have that, you need to put some type of relay in between it. So this pump does not support voltage that way. You have to run permanent power to it. So you need to put a relay in between powered board and anything going to the pump for the start-stop command. Now, some of the other boilers actually have dry contacts at this point, and you don't need to worry about the rip relay. Not the case here. So go back around to the other side so it's a little easier to see. We have our analog input, which speeds up and slows down the pump. And if you go to your low voltage board on the Lochinvar, you can actually see it has a boiler pump out, 0 to 10. That's important to note that we have a 0 to 10 output on this board, because when we go into the programming on the Wilo, you will need to know, it'll actually prompt you for what voltage you need. All right, let's slip our cover back on and we'll go through the programming. Okay, we're back. We have our wires landed on the pump side, and we have our wires landed on our boiler side. And a quick note is that these pumps are like little laptops, so you actually keep permanent power going to it. That's why you actually have a start and stop command and a variable input command. So for the programming on these things, even right out of the box, I like to bring it back to a factory reset. To do that, you come to this little swirly wheel here by spinning your big green button, pressing on it. You have restore points or factory setting. We want factory setting, reset settings. Click. Factory setting. And just a quick note is they always tell you what's going on in the margin here. And then confirm, that's what we want to do. It'll go through its reboot mode. Why do I like to do this every single time? It's just because right out of the box, you don't know if they, were testing these and left something programmed in them, or if you stumble across this on the field, you have no idea who was pushing what buttons. So once again, start with factory settings, push our big green button. Here we go. So we have to do a couple steps here. Starts in dynamic adapt plus when you do that. Go to our cog, settings assistant, and we want to go down, back a step, sorry guys. We want to go to external interfaces first. This tells us what's going to be interfacing with it. We want a digital input 1, which is our on and off. We want external off, which basically means when that switch is connected, we're going to have it turn off, right? So scroll down to analog input 1, because that's where we landed our wires. Set analog input, set point controller, And remember, on our board it was 0 to 10 input, so we want to click 0 to 10. Click our magic wheel. And then use specifications. And this is what they mean by use specifications. They actually have what it does at each voltage range, right? And these are adjustable, but that's another video for another time. Click OK. All right, so now we need to back out. Back out, back out. And we want to go now into Settings Assistant, which is here. We want Settings Assistant. We want Basic Control Modes. We want to go down to Speed Control, which is what we're going to be telling the analog input to do. Enter that. Set point control speed. Now this is where you have to tell it that it's going to be controlled by external. You go to this 3 little magic buttons here. Click. You have set point damping time. Set point of external source is what we're looking for. And we are going to be using analog input. All right, so now we can back out to our home screen. And when you're at your home screen, 2 things you'll notice. Analog input is controlling it, right? We have nothing calling for a start and stop. We got 0 and 0. And then this little blue light's on. So if we back off to our mock head, I can give a demand for heat. And what you'll watch is that the boiler will ramp the pump up to full speed. And what's that doing is it's clearing the heat exchanger of any heat and getting flow to maximum flow. Now, as this boiler goes through its pre-purge, start, and whatnot, that speed will change depending on what your delta T is, or what your delta T is programmed for the modulating condensing boiler, which, cool enough, you can play with on this. All right, guys, that should be enough to be dangerous. If you got a modulating condensing boiler that can give you a start-stop command on your boiler pump, and then even better yet, if you get a 0 to 10 or some type of variable speed for your boiler pump so they can coordinate and flow together. All right, look for more videos. Thanks.